Today, I got a chance to play Boneless. It's out on Steam, so if you want to check it out, link in description. Also, we got an exclusive interview at the end of the video with the creator of Boneless. So let's get on with the video. Boneless is a completely physics-based VR game, similar to Boneworks BONELAB and Blades of Sorcery. What's unique about this is it's a single dev that is only 15 years old. At 15 years old, he's created completely physics-based gun system, weapon, stabbing, slicing, multiple maps, and has become good at coding within the past 2 years. Something also unique about this is he made it in 8 months. Most game studios take up to 3 years to produce a game like Boneworks and BONELAB. So creating a completely physics-based game that I would say is near a full Steam release and is released on Steam is a pretty incredible achievement. Pretty cool is the detail in other maps. Some of them are obviously assets, but others you can't tell. Most of the stuff in this game is completely modeled by this kid. Now time for the honest review of Bones. Physics, kind of on point. So I would say physics are about a 7 out of 10. Graphics, some places they lack, some places they don't. Graphics, 7 out of 10. Gun system and stabbing and slicing system, or all in total, weapon system, 10 out of 10. It is some of the best weapon systems that I've seen in a long time. Enemies, they could be a little better, so I would say 7 out of 10. And finally, movement system, that's considering the body, interaction systems, and colliders. I would say this is about 8 out of 10. Better than sports mode, but not as good as BONELAB. My honest opinion, this is the next successor to BONELAB. Now it's time for the overall score. Overall score is, drumroll please, 8 out of 10. Alright guys, welcome to the Boneless interview. I'm joined here by the Boneless developer, and so we're gonna just ask some questions and see what we get. So first question for you, why did you start developing Boneless?
Well, I guess I always played games like Blade and Sorcery, BONELAB, and I just thought you know, physics VR is a very interesting thing. I used to mod for Blade and Sorcery, and I just thought physics VR is a very interesting and experimental thing, and I thought I'd try and make the best physics simulation possible and get it out for free, just as a way to kind of prove like that it should kind of be a standard for VR games to have these like advanced physics.
What was your inspiration for developing Boneless?
Well, yeah, like I just said, like games like Blade and Sorcery, BONELAB. I just remember thinking like these games are being developed at such a high level, like especially with BONELAB, it was such a big deal to everybody that this advanced physics VR game is being made. So I just remember thinking like this can be done, and it can be done really well, but it doesn't have to be at such a high level. Somebody like me can come in, just make like a really advanced good physics simulation and get it out for free.
And I will say, it is a very good physics simulation. I actually am coming to really like the game after playing it a little more last night. So our next question is, do you plan to keep on working on Boneless?
So I uh, um I sort of the has released well, the version I released the other day, like 3rd of May, last Friday, was the mostly complete version with a couple of bugs, but I got most of those bugs fixed in the days after that, and that's available on Steam now. But apart from a few bug fixes, I don't plan on adding really any huge amount of content, because I think the game has proved itself as a good come in again and do something like this. It would be with a way wider scope and with way more money and way more investment into the project.
Alright, so our next question is, when do you plan on having the Quest version released?
So just today, I submitted the Quest build, which is an identical build to the PC version, except with no external cameras and worse graphics and worse physics. So I submitted that today to App Lab. So I think hopefully, if nothing goes horribly wrong with the submission, it'll be released within the next month, I think, on App Lab and SideQuest.
What got you started in game development in general?
When it comes to getting involved I got into game development because of VR, and I got into VR I think maybe 2-3 years ago in 2021. Yeah, it was early 2021 when I got a PSVR. Then I got more interested in it, and I got a Quest. Then with the Quest I was playing Blade and Sorcery Nomad, so then I got a PC to play the PC VR version of the game. Then I started modding, just basic mods. The mods are under VCR, people might be able to find them. There's a lot of sheets, swords and stuff. But I just got more interested in modding and learning Unity to mod for the game. Then I started 3D modeling to make custom swords and stuff. Then I wanted to learn programming to make even better mods. But I just decided it would be more interesting for me to actually test the limits of what I can do with VR in a physics-based game instead of for Blade and Sorcery. So that's how I got started. Then I decided I was kind of going to like make just the most advanced physics simulation I could, and I was going to do it any way I could. So I was just learning loads of stuff about game development, about programming, stuff like that to make this end product that is Boneless VR.
What do you plan on the future for your company VCR?
VCR is a pseudonym for when I used to mod for Blade and Sorcery. Then when I made my company, okay, I'll explain that now. I make games, but VR is applicable to anything. So obviously we've had this conversation before off the interview, but so I'm basically applying Boneless VR for businesses and for companies to make like to use VR to help businesses market their products better in 3D demos or physics-based interactive systems, or just demos for all different kinds of things that businesses will need. So it's just applying VR to the industry. So when I got that started up, which is a side thing I'm doing apart from Boneless VR, but when I got that started up, I used the pseudonym VCR, and I just added interactive, so it was VCR Interactive. But I figured having a name that was for modding for a company is horrible. So the name of the company now is XRS Interactive, which stands for Extended Reality Services Interactive. So that's how that is named and got started. But the company essentially, it's what I'm going to be focusing on when I stop working on Boneless in the coming weeks or months. But it's essentially I'm going to try find as many ways I can apply VR to businesses and all different kinds of things outside of game development, and just build my portfolio of projects. And I've already done it before for companies using VR for them, but just building that, making more money with that, and hopefully grow that in the coming years and step away from game development for a while. And if I wanted to one day, I may like come back and make an even bigger game, unlike anything anybody's ever seen before, with far more money invested.
How long have you been developing Boneless, or just how long have you been trying to develop a physics-based VR system like Boneless?
I started learning to code, and I was horrible at it, by the way. It was December 2022, just at the end of the year, and that's when I first started to code. So it's only been about a year and a few months since I actually first even learned what coding is. So I just started learning C#, which is Unity's language, and then I already knew a lot about Unity from Blade and Sorcery modding, so I did a few Unity learn pathways, and I started working on. If anybody's in the Discord, you'll know that the GitHub webhook for the Boneless repository actually says Boneless v2, because the first iteration of the project was a really broken, like, just experiment on physics VR, and I was working on that since August of 2023. Then in December I said, okay, this is horrible, none of it works at all, I need to start again. That's when Boneless v2 came in, and I was working on it, and it went really fast because I already knew a lot of what I was coding. And then the first 2 weeks after I made that was when the first devlog released. So it's been about roughly, if you count first iteration of the project, it's been about 8 months, 10 months. But since all the code for Boneless, I think, was made in the last 4 months, I think.
So I think that's going to be the last of our questions. Do you have anything else you would like to add on before we go on here?
Well, I guess people can check out the trailers for the game on my YouTube channel. And another thing, like, if people want to check out what I'm doing apart from, I don't think many people have seen my website, XRS Interactive, or what I'm doing there. If people want to check out what I'm doing apart from, and what I'm going to be doing after I stop work on Boneless VR, then they can check out my website and see what I'm doing for companies there and stuff like that. If anybody's interested, I think.
All right. So to end this off, thank you so much for letting me interview you. And I can't wait to see the smaller bug fixes throughout the games you've had, just small content updates. I can't wait for that, and I actually really like the game. And thank you so much for agreeing for an interview. And yeah, I think that's it for today.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the interview.
No problem. Before the video ends, it's officially been 2 years on YouTube. Actually, it's been 2 years for 5 days. I just haven't made a video about it. So I've been doing this for 2 years, and it's been pretty hard for me. And I can't thank you guys enough for the support I've gotten over these 2 years on YouTube, even if you've seen my old content that I removed a long time ago. So thank you guys so much for 2 years on YouTube. If you want to help support me, there's merch link in the description. You can also join the Discord. All links, everything this guy talked about, everything Boneless talked about, is all linked in the description, so you can go check that out. So you guys have a good day, and let's roll the outro.